Okay, what's up, y'all? Um, what's up? How's everybody doing? I just want to come on here because it's really so much going on right now. Um, with this whole presidency, with the whole all these executive orders, what all these orders mean, who are they targeting, why are they being set forth, and the more and more we read or we listen to every day, the more and more sometimes, like, yes, we can come up with our um, uh, own explanations of what things mean or whatever, or we can even come up with assumptions about, the plan and the purpose and all that on top of the executive branch coming out specifically saying what their mission is and all that. So um I'm not gonna lie, I'm so confused. I feel so, I'm alarmed, I'm annoyed, um and I'm eager to learn what most of this stuff or some of this stuff even mean, because I really don't know. I'm coming on here because I feel like since something is going on every day, like literally every day, like a new order's being signed. Um uh More and more people are losing jobs, more and more crashes every day, just a whole lot of stuff going on. And so this channel, Twisted News, is exactly what it is. It's twisted news. And I just want to report, or I want to make known, things that come to existence, orders being signed, new updates and all that. Now I don't have a second screen, so um i I will try for next time to have like two computers set up to where we can maybe watch things or see things as I'm looking them up, and we could talk about them, or I could talk about them, or whatever. I'll try to also put links to the things that I mentioned, so that if you want to go there and whatever, and then we could maybe have conversations in the comment box or whatever. However, we need to do it. I just know I need to start being more active when it comes to stuff like this, because for so long I've been not in the know, because for a while I was raised Jehovah's Witness. And of course, for all y'all who know about Jehovah's Witnesses, we or Jehovah's Witnesses don't associate with the world. So they don't care about what's going on. They don't want you to pay attention to what's going on, because this is worldly stuff. The difference, though, for me, which drew me away, was I feel like even though it's worldly things, and you shouldn't be a part, but it's still happening right around us. It's still happening to us. It's still happening. So even though you don't feel like you're a part of it, or this have nothing to do with you, it actually does, because especially some of these orders and some of these laws that's been put in place, or jobs being um, uh, lost and all that. So, and I just feel like it's crazy to go through life and just not know about anything, not have um, idea, or um, any concern about anything that goes on in a place where we walk, talk, work, uh, everything. We do all that right here in the USA. We do it all. North America, we do it all right here. Right outside of our door, it could be something that's going on. Like literally. And I do feel like it's still a village to raise, not a kid, but just everybody. I feel like each of us need to look out for each of us. And it is right. I feel like us as black people, We are the worst on ourselves. We're the worst to each other. We're the worst to team up and join hands and collaborate. We're the worst to share. We're the worst to build each other up because we feel like the next person is going to take what's theirs or ours. We're the worst at violence against each other. We're quickly to kill somebody, especially one of our own. Over it, sometimes it could be the stupidest shit. We're the worst at it. The worst. We don't go into business together. We don't try to collaborate and come up with nonprofits or um, uh, big companies and stuff that we all need and we all can share. We're so anti-black. And I'm sorry, but I did say it. We are. We look at each other like we're the enemies. You can't walk down the street and just look at someone, not with a mean mug, not with, anything, just a stare, a quick stare. You can't do that because then a fight breaks out. You exchange cut you exchange words and that can start an argument or a fight. Like it's so alarming how in one hand we are screaming, what about us? And on another hand, it's fuck us from us. That's crazy work to me. And yes, I feel like not one person can change the whole thing, but I do believe if we do work on ourselves, if we do look and pay attention to how we are, how we treat people, how we talk, how we communicate, I do feel like as a whole, it would change. So I feel like we have too many people out here trying to dictate other people's lives. It's too many people out here um trying to judge the next person for what they're doing or what they're not doing. It's too many people out here mad and angry because the next person won't listen to what that person is saying to do and all that. But one, it may be information that's useful to the person. However, you cannot force somebody to listen to you. You cannot force somebody to do something that they don't want to do, regardless on if you said it, if you was successful at it or not. But the one thing we can't control, however, is us. We control what we do. We control what we say. We control how we talk. We control how we act. We control how we treat other people. We control that about ourselves. So how about we stop getting so many strong-headed people and being so adamant on trying to control others, and let's start just controlling ourselves. And on top of that, let's start promoting each other. Let's start helping each other. Let's start uplifting each other because us as a race, we need that shit daily. It's so much stuff going on. I feel like we're studied in an enslavement or something. It has to be. They're dangling these laws and all this shit, and we're just on these strings and we're just moving as we see fit. And that should be okay. But because this world is so money driven and money hungry, that's another main reason why we pit each other against each other. And it's like I feel like we as a whole feel like there's just a limited amount of money to go around. So it's like first come, first serve. It's like, yeah, I know this and I have this, but I can't help you. I can't tell you this because then you're going to get into that pot, which is going to make my pot even less. That's stupid. That's stupid. The US make money and is capable of making money literally every day. That's stupid. How are we in debt? How are we in $1 trillion worth of debt when we are the ones to create the money? What's going on? Anyway, I got off topic, but just because it's just wild and crazy to me. So, and because I don't have other screen, I am on my phone, and I will. So I'm gonna read off like the orders and stuff as I see them and all that. Um, and then, like I said, I will put links in the comments for you guys if you want to look more into what the orders are, look more into like when they were signed on, what's further happening, and all that stuff. And I will try to start coming on daily for at least 30 minutes. It's not going to be long. Um, like just new announcements or anything in the news that's twisted, anything in the news that's going on that affects us, anything in the news that I feel like we need to pay attention to. I'm going to try and put on here every day. I can't say that it may be the same time, but I promise I'm going to try to get on here and do better. So today, after work early this morning, I'm looking on YouTube because I go to work really early in the morning. I get off early. So I try to at least look at the news alerts and stuff a little bit. And one of the new orders was Trump administration gives schools a deadline to end DEI programs or risk losing federal money. So it's saying the Trump administration is giving America's schools and universities 2 weeks to eliminate diversity initiatives or risk losing federal money, raising the stakes in the president's fight against wokeness. Why are you fighting against wokeness? Why don't y'all want all of us to be woke? Why do you constantly want, you don't even sleep that long? Why you want us to be asleep? What is it that y'all are trying to keep us from that's so bad to where you're making it to where everything that has to do with DEI have to be erased from schools and universities, and then risking the schools and universities not getting funding because they choose to back DEI? Let's go there. I'm confused. I don't understand. I don't understand why it's that major, why a president of the United States want to, and these are not my words. I'm reading from the order. Literally reading from the order. Why is it that you are trying to fight against wokeness? I don't get it. Um, it further states in a memo Friday, the Education Department gave an ultimatum to stop using racial preferences as a factor in admissions, financial aid, hiring, or other areas. Schools are being given 14 days to end any practice that treats students or workers differently because of their race. Educators at colleges nationwide were rushing to evaluate their risk and decide whether to stand up for practices they believe are legal. The sweeping demand threatens to upend all aspects of campus operations, from essays on college applications to classroom lessons and campus clubs. It's meant to correct what the memo described as rampant discrimination in education, often against white and Asian students. Schools have been operating on the pretext that selecting students for diversity or similar euphemisms is not selecting them based on race, said Craig Trainer, acting assistant secretary for civil rights. No longer. Students should be assessed according to merit, accomplishment, and character. The guidance drew sharp backlash from civil rights groups and university groups. Some believe its vague language is meant to have a chilling effect, pressuring schools to eliminate anything touching on the topic of race, even if it may be defensible in court. I'm not going to read anymore, but that's just a little snippet of one of the orders that was set forth from Trump. And it said this was 14 hours ago. No, it was posted February 18th. What's today? The 19th? So yesterday around 8:08 p.m. So it wasn't the whole actually 24 hours. So yeah, it's about 14 hours ago that he made this order specific to where it's all over the world now. It's available all over. That's insane and nuts. Let's see. Um what else? Oh, and by the way, there was actually another plane crash. Why all of a sudden is there so many plane crashes? No matter um what y'all say the causes and reasons are, why are they all of a sudden happening? And then it's so sad also because we just believe anything and everything that a news station says or comments on or talks about because oh my gosh, they're the news, so they must know the truth. They have to be saying exactly what it is. Wrong. This is where I need us to step up and us to try and get more knowledge and us to realize we need to start reading. We need to start doing our own research. We need to start looking and finding things ourselves because we can't just believe everything. This is what they're doing and this is how they're shooting us and how they're still feeling like we're asleep and still wanting us to be asleep. They feel like we are because we're just going along with everything they're putting out there. They're literally doing shit in our face and saying, "Oh, it don't matter." They're not paying attention. And guess what? We're not fucking paying attention. And we need to start fucking paying attention more because they're doing this stuff in our face. And I feel like that's blatant disrespect. I feel like it's rude. I feel like, and for these Christians, so called, if you are a Christian and you're racist, or you don't agree that every single human being have the same rights as everybody else, you're not a fucking Christian. You can't be. You can't be. I'm sorry. You can argue me on it. You're not it. I don't believe in these churches at all. I don't believe in them. I'm very spiritual, though. I'm very spiritual. F the religion, though. It's too much. It's too many. That's another reason why, or another example of how they're controlling us, how they're getting more money in their pockets. All this stuff is money grabs for people. And this is like a game to most people. Like, oh, it's okay. It's all right. Um, he's starting Trump rails against Ukrainian president while government overhaul takes shape in US. He's having problems with China. Like it's so many, Russia, Ukraine. It's so. We keep this up, I feel like it's going to be another world war. And then is that also going to be not our problem? Is that also going to be something to where we just don't recognize, we don't pay attention to, we don't have any type of interest in of knowing anything that has to do with that? Elon Musk is getting paid under the table or it's not, because whatever they're doing, they're making it to where Elon Musk don't have to expose what he's making to work under the Trump administration. Is that some secretive shit? Is that something to where y'all are trying to outsmart us? You're trying to say something underneath the surface while appearing to be all about everybody, the people. What else? Musk and Trump tout cuts in fraud while their claims are debunked. A series of announcements by Doge, as well as claims by Musk and President Donald Trump about the agency's efforts, have crumbled under scrutiny, even as they're broadly repeated by conservative pundits, sympathetic media in the White House. Two of the most notable claims around Social Security fraud and 8 billion savings found in the Department of Homeland Security contract have been debunked. Meanwhile, Trump's agenda is set to add to the federal government's deficit while in excess of what Doge is cutting. It's amateur hour in their federal government, said Martin O'Malley, the former Maryland governor who ran the Social Security Administration under President Joe Biden. There's unelected people. That's another news update, if y'all heard that. There's unelected people that are being given powers to go through and rummage through our personal data for reasons that nobody can quite figure out yet. It's not for efficiency. Cutting government waste and hunting for fraud are perennially popular topics for politicians across the political spectrum. Federal agencies each have their own internal watchdogs known as inspectors general, meant to hunt for misuse of taxpayer dollars. More than a dozen of them have been fired by the Trump administration. Why are they fired? If they're doing their job, why are they fired? In their place, Doge has worked to make sweeping cuts, most of which appear to be focused more on Trump's politics than anything else, and many of which experts warn could have unintended consequences. They're throwing out the baby with the bathwater, said Elaine Cameron, a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution who oversaw an 8-year effort to cut government spending and waste under President Bill Clinton. It's been said that these cuts are going to blow up in their face, she said, warning that fired staffers could undermine the United States' ability to handle a crisis in national security, food safety, pandemics, or aviation. While sweeping cuts in the private sector, and particularly Silicon Valley, may be celebrated, government services can be life and death, she said. You take down Medicare payment system, you take down Social Security checks. You take down food inspections, okay, that kills people, she said. The White House did not respond to a request for comment. At 2:02 p.m., which is just 2 minutes ago, Doge reportedly access. Hold on, it's coming up. Reportedly accesses employee info at Pentagon. The federal government may begin removing probationary employees from the Department of Defense in the coming days, multiple outlets reported, as the Trump administration carries out mass layoffs at various federal agencies amid large-scale budget-cutting efforts. But what about the people that y'all are actually cutting these jobs from? What do you suppose that these people that you are relieving of their job duties, what do you suppose for them to do, especially in this economy right now, especially with everything that's going on and all these orders that y'all are having set forth, trying to put in motion? What do you expect them to do, especially even if they're single? But imagine the ones with families. What's going to happen? You're just laying off because what you think that's going to save money by not paying people, by not having individuals being able to work to make money, to make a living for them and their families? Tell me how that makes sense. And I get some stuff may be okay. Some stuff may be it may be, what's the word I'm looking for? It may be not as threatening as some orders. However, the bigger picture is this man has clearly showed that he's a racist. The Elon Musk dude clearly shows he's a racist. Y'all got him doing this whole, or y'all allowing him to do this whole racial hand movement gesture once the president got signed back into presidency. No one's talking about it though. It's fine. It's Elon Musk. He could do it, right? He's the richest person in the world. Why why can't he do it? But what does that hand movement signify? What does it mean though? And we're okay with that as a whole, as a people? No matter what your religion or preference or whatever it is, it's okay for you to do that in public to the whole world, to make an actual statement without making a statement. I digress. That's going to be all for me today. Like I said, I will link these two if you want to read a little bit more in depth on those two orders or policies or the news that's going on. Like I said, every day I will try and bring some type of order, some type of policy that's happening or that's trying to get passed or whatever, and state my opinion about it, because that's all it is, right? My opinion. Everybody have them. I'm choosing to state mine. I'm not gonna be quiet for real. I will state what I feel, and that's just that. If you have an issue, that's fine. Everybody's opinion, everybody have their own opinion. Everybody have it. But what I say is, and I'm gonna leave my comments open. Don't come here with no foolery, because my mouth is foolery. Point blank. Period. I'm not holding back at all from anybody, and I will respect you up until you disrespect me. I will show you kindness and show you respect as long as I get that. So if we can have healthy dialogue, and that means even if you disagree with what I'm talking about, we can talk about it. We can talk about it, because I'm one who really try to understand everything. I'm one who sees things in many different ways and different things. So I am open and I get a lot of stuff. But if you come at me with some, oh, this is what I say and this has to be it because this is what I said type stuff, sorry, not sorry for whatever's coming next. And I'm not. But until next time, y'all, I'm out. Y'all have a good day.